Imagine this. You trust your family doctor. You see him for years. He smiles, listens, and even visits you at home when you're unwell. But what if that very doctor, the person you trusted most, was secretly planning your death? This isn't fiction. This is the real story of Dr. Harold Shipman, a doctor in England who became one of the most notorious serial killers in history. And tragically, most of his victims were elderly people, respected, wealthy, but living alone. Today we're not just telling his story, we're learning from it. We'll talk about how seniors and their families can protect themselves from medical exploitation, isolation, and blind trust. Because your health and your safety should never be taken for granted. Harold Shipman was born in 1946 and grew up to become a doctor, a general practitioner in a small English town. To the outside world, he looked like the perfect doctor. He was respected, friendly, and always available. He treated patients in their homes, and many families trusted him with their elderly parents and grandparents. But behind that mask of care was something far darker. Between the late 1970s and the 1990s, Shipman was secretly killing his patients. How? By giving them massive overdoses of diamorphine, a powerful painkiller usually given only in severe cases, like cancer pain. He would often inject his elderly patients at home, then write their deaths off as natural causes. In 2000, he was convicted of 15 murders. But later investigations showed the real number could be over 200 deaths. Most of them were elderly women. Many were widowed, wealthy, and lived alone. Easy targets, vulnerable, isolated, and completely trusting. Now you might wonder, how could this go unnoticed for so long? The answer lies in blind trust and isolation. Shipman's patients trusted him because he was their family doctor. Families often weren't present during visits. He wrote death certificates himself, often marking them as old age or natural causes. And because many victims were older, their deaths didn't raise suspicions. In fact, some families even thanked him for being such a caring doctor during their loved ones' final moments. It's chilling to think about. This shows us something important. Even well-respected professionals can misuse power if no one is watching. So, what can we, especially elderly people and their families, learn from this tragic story? How do we make sure nothing like this happens again? The first lesson is simple. Always ask questions. A good doctor never hides information. If a strong medicine like morphine or other painkillers is suggested, ask why this is necessary, what the side effects are, and if there are alternatives. If the answers aren't clear, you deserve a second opinion. The second lesson is to keep your medical records shared. Don't let your health stay only between you and your doctor. Share prescriptions, reports, and medications with a trusted family member. If you live alone, make sure someone you trust knows what treatments you're receiving. The third lesson is to stay connected. Isolation made Shipman's victims easy targets. When elderly people live alone, it's easier for abuse to go unnoticed. Family and friends should stay in touch, check in regularly, and even attend doctor visits when possible. Fourth, notice the red flags. A doctor who rushes you or dismisses your questions. A doctor who insists you don't need a second opinion. Or one who suddenly prescribes strong medicines without clear explanation. And finally, understand the power of advocacy. Elderly people should never feel they must face medical decisions alone. A family member, friend, or caregiver can act as an advocate, sitting in appointments, taking notes, and making sure everything is transparent. To the sons, daughters, and grandchildren watching this, remember that your elderly loved ones might not always question authority. In Shipman's time, many older people grew up in an era when doctors were never questioned. Whatever the doctor said was final. But times have changed. Medicine today is about partnership. Patients and families should be involved in every decision. So if your parent or grandparent is seeing a doctor alone, offer to join them. Ask them about their prescriptions. Show them that their life matters too much to be left in silence. Dr. Harold Shipman is remembered today not just for his crimes, but as a painful reminder of what happens when trust is abused and isolation goes unnoticed. But we can turn this tragedy into a lesson. Seniors today don't need to live in fear. They need to live with awareness. Your health is your right. A good doctor will explain, will listen, and will welcome your questions. So stay connected, stay informed, and never be afraid to speak up. Because protecting yourself, or protecting your loved ones, is the most powerful medicine of all. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your parents, grandparents, or friends. Awareness saves lives. And don't forget to subscribe for more health advice and stories that matter for seniors and their families. Together, we can make sure that history never repeats itself.